Thank you. Okay, yeah, so before I even finished, I was saying all of that. I was getting significant blue. So we already talked a little bit about blue, but what's important to note about the blue I'm being shown is it's a really beautiful sky blue with just a few, it was like coming down into my vision from above, beautiful blue sky with some puffy clouds, the white kind of cotton ball puffy clouds as a major influence. It's like this scene is an energetic influence that's setting a foundational, like this is a foundational stage of the rest of your life. And it is not, your head is not in the clouds. The clouds have actually lowered. The sky is lowering to meet you. You are the immensity of all things. The totality of who you are now and who you have always been as any being and non-being, as sometimes we say in Beyond Quantum Healing, that's like really coming in strongly for you is continuing to work with blue, the color, frequency, and resonant signature of blue in all of its various shades. And specifically, while you don't have any kind of like a throat blockage, but you've got great, speaking ability, what the blue is doing with the throat is bringing you into a place of confidence that when it's go time for a potential, YouTube, doing audiobook narration, creating your own like guided meditations or journeys that you're going to be working with people, taking people on, whether that's YouTube, Patreon, some other kind of a format. It's really about building the confidence in weaving that into the rest of your story. Let's see. There's a deeper indigo, like a deeper purpley indigo blue that is presently working on clarifying like the inner vision of the what we would think of as the first eye instead of the third eye. I've been taking the first eye. There's nothing wrong. Like the Akash is quick to say, like there's nothing wrong. It's really just going through a process of clarification and refinement because you are initiating an up leveling so quickly. So it's like I do see like it's recently popped out. I don't know what to call these. Maybe they would be like they're like little tiny round, like I guess calcium deposits, little itty bitty teeny ones, two of them that popped out and are currently being dissolved. Just kind of from that region. There's some new neural pathways that are being created in every moment of every day. The Akash recommends that you make sure that you're singing, humming, toning when you're driving for work. Would be a good time to do this. I'm just being shown the powerful and beautiful, gentle, healing, activating, attuning voice that you have, being that for you too. And the way the throat is connecting to the beautiful mind, the intelligent mind of the divine, is thus being rendered and created in your physical body too. So that feels all generative and nourishing. There is a recommendation to assist your sister just with lots of loving kindness. Life is busy and you're limited as to like what you could do physically because you're not present there right now. I'm just seeing, the Akash wanted me to see like a little bit of I'm going to call it a cloud, just a cloud of sadness and maybe like some uncertainty in her own beingness. I suspect that some of the work you might be being called to do with her on an expanded self level may involve her feeling like she got tricked into coming here, or she wanted to back out at the last minute of this incarnation and had to come anyway. That's what I'm like. The Akash says it's important for you to know this, because you're kind of the energetic mentor to help move through that. Okay, there is a massive, what do I call you? Like cross between, it's like a tiger. It looks like a massive bipedal, like on 2 feet tiger, but the pattern is different. It's not quite like the stripes that we would see. It's more like, it definitely is a tiger, but it's more like spots. Maybe more like is that a jaguar or a leopard?
Yeah, like a leopard.
Yeah, but the face is very much a tiger. Standing about 12 feet tall in your, what I'm calling the Akashic chamber, wearing a very thick, soft, luxurious, like chocolate brown or coffee brown robe. Like it's like velvet. I'm just kind of tuning into who this, what this archetypal energy represents. Okay, so it's moving quickly, but the inside of the Akashic chamber that we're in right now is like, it's like the most purified black diamond or onyx or obsidian. Like there's all these qualities of even tourmaline, but it's like none of the earth words that we have for this can quite describe it correctly. And the black is related to your fullness as embodying somebody who's so, like you're very yang in like typical, like first impression energetically, but you know that like what you've been called to do is like to hold, you're literally holding like the ancestral womb in your body, in your field. And so I'm seeing this is there's been major initiation since like we first met a year and a half ago, or whenever that was, last spring, in the balancing that you have done and self-initiation. Like you've had mentors, friends, people that have come and gone along the way, but your current initiation is really, really, really self and all that is sacred and divine. All that is your initiating body. Really, really, really high honor that you have been chosen to hold the womb and the tomb and the void of creation in this incarnation. You've done it many other times, but there's an order. An order. You are part of an exclusive order of men who are called to more, and there's going to be significant work coming if you choose it, in being a mature and in body, fully balanced in humanity and in spirit practitioner who is able to bring forth codes and attunements to other men, oftentimes much older in physical years, in a way that nobody else has thus been able to do. I feel that I'm being shown that a lot of your work, again, if you choose it, no matter which like facet or skill or aspect you choose to kind of focus on at any given time, is going to potentially revolve around a core structural foundation of helping others identify and release shame so that they can come into the fullness of their own remembrance divinity and humanity. And I've been reading a book about shame. The Akash says I can go ahead and editorialize. And this is a concept that I've been feeling into quite a bit, is noticing that the people that I meet who have the most difficulty making true and lasting progress and change that they deeply desire are people who are really struggling to even acknowledge the shame. Like, it's so deeply rooted, and I'm just seeing like your voice, your hands, everything that you are, and all of the tools that you have at your disposal for energy work or body work, or just being a loving presence in somebody's day as you're dropping something off at work or for work, is providing very gentle excavation to whatever level the people you're interacting with can manage or navigate at any given time. The beautiful, like, shiny kind of void color and energy with this tiger that has spots instead of stripes is really, really, really symbolic. Connecting with your own feline energy, and so this is getting like into polarity and sexuality, and essentially, like, again, here you are, like holding the womb, like you are actually like the one in your lineage right now who's holding like the wounding and clearing like womb trauma ancestrally. But like there's also this, along with the other teaching that I think you're going to do, like this is an alchemical life for you, and the Akash and this spotted tiger, that's one of the archetypes you're working with. Feline energy is very powerful, very sensual, is like I'm supposed to tell you don't settle. So it's really good, like all of the loved ones are stating that it's really good that you are not seeking a connection right now, or like hyper focused on that in any way. If it shows up and it's aligned and it's great, you would accept it and roll with it and explore. But it's like super, super important for me to say that there is a sacredness and an alchemy that you are here to participate in and represent and bring forward, not just with another, but through yourself, through and with yourself, and then down the path when and if it aligns for you, then in that sacred connection with other. There is a mountainous area of Utah, isn't there? Like I'm seeing.
I'm in a valley pretty much, so I'm surrounded by mountains on all sides.
Okay, yeah. So I'm seeing these mountains, and much like when you were traveling to Utah, and I was getting this nudge that you were going to do some work at the Sandia Mountains in New Mexico, there is a mountain that, like, I guess from where I'm being shown, there's an area that I feel is a little bit northwest of where you're at right now, that is going to be like, if ever you have the time to go hiking in that direction, there is, I guess, ley line work. I'm getting like land work, ley line connections, significant communing with nature there. There is I'm just seeing a really large, kind of like hawk or eagle type archetypal power animal energy that just flew in, that is to the Akash, that's also like representative of this mountain and the land connection that you're making. And if life is too busy to go there physically, you can connect with these energies energetically. Continuing to, like, it's moving fast, so I'm just rolling with it, continuing to practice your own Akashic connection when it aligns for you to do so, even if it's just laying in bed at night when you're getting ready to sleep. I'm just being shown the heart. Like in one of our other sessions, it seemed like your affinity with like water and lunar energy was really showing up as the access, the way to access for you through the heart. And I'm being shown just this beautiful, I'm going to call it like a magical pool of this iridescent, like liquid plasma love, water, shimmery, whatever it is, that is like the quality, the most high frequency quality of your heart, and it being a way to access the true Akash, both within and without, here and cosmically. And so when it feels aligned for you, there is still the open and extended reminder, calling, initiation, invitation to be interfacing and engaging, as this is also part of why you're here, to use this as one of the tools that you can bring forward into healing and integration practice for yourself and others. I'm seeing plants that just showed me like a beautiful, it went really fast. At first it looked like desert, or not desert, it looked like dry ground. It looked like earth or dirt that was like so cracked and so parched and dry, nothing would grow there. And then you walked into the scene and it became beautifully green and verdant and productive immediately, and beautiful flowers. So I was seeing, the first one that came up was sunflower, like a sunflower, and then morning glory. And then I was seeing, interestingly, okra. It was like a patch over here, it was like vegetable garden. And this is symbolic and representative of your healing, the healing quality that you bring. And you already know that everybody is their own healer, and you're facilitating and making a way. And that's perfectly fine. It's good to know that. And it's also good not to fall into the trap that a lot of people will fall into, of imposter syndrome, or like being too humble. Like humility is a good thing, but being too humble can wind up being like self-deprecating, or not acknowledging the fullness and power of the self. And the Akash is wanting to make sure that you don't ever feel like you're being pushed or falling into and not acknowledging the fullness of your radiant and very, very advanced, evolved master soul, now being shown you on another world. So Vega. So you have been and are, if it's all parallel quantum and now, Vega. I'm going to have to feel into which version of Vega this was. I think if I'll tune in more later, but one of the higher dimensional Vegan worlds, you were a master healer. I'm being shown you very much in the same energy, the same quality of like soul essence that you carry in this life. You looked a little bit different. Sometimes the skin was a really beautiful blue. So this is interesting. You were like, how tall are you now? I think you were like taller and pretty slender in this vision that I'm seeing, and like your skin was kind of blue, but it's a beautiful blue, but it's still you. Like I'm getting like 6'5", 6'6", and very slender. Like people were taller in that version.
Yeah.
connecting with this version of yourself. This is a very, very available, a very available template that is also you, that is happening now, that happened then, that is happening when, as you know, you're transmitting heart-based healing codes. So the word healing keeps coming up a lot. And that's not a word that I typically like push very much for my own work, because I always want people to know their own healer. But like, you are a master healer, and everything you do, every beat of your heart is healing. Every breath you take, every word you speak is an offering of healing to yourself and to everybody around you if they choose to receive it. It's even to the land. Like, you just walk into the land and all of a sudden the drought is gone. So yes, walk with humility, and yes, stay confident in who and how and what you are. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yes.
Okay.
And often I feel like presence has been coming up a lot throughout this. With
Yes.
like presence being healing in itself, um,
Absolutely. Yes, it's like
holding
just your,
space.
yeah, your mere presence, just your presence, and being fully present in a now moment with someone, and holding whatever the space is. Smile as you hold the door open for someone at the gas station, or um, really being the altar that is receiving the significant trauma or emotional release that a classmate is going through the body work, like however it shows up, being okay. They're saying what's important here too, and this is you, like it's you, this vegan version of you is talking to me now. It's also really important to understand that even though this is all you, and this is like your beingness, your presence is medicine, you don't have to take it all on. Right now, you're doing a really great job of like walking the balance. Like, it can be a balancing act, even though you are being like, even though you're doing a lot of family alchemy right now in transmutation.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to not ever feel like you have to take on everybody else's stuff. The Akash is showing me that down the road a little ways in this current timeline spiral, or the ones that are most likely to be created, there are going to be people, like potential romantic partners, who are interested in moving forward. And that's great and good and lovely. But two of the like four that I'm feeling into or being shown will likely wind up being individuals that it's best for you to release in peace, because there are people who are wounded enough that they try to outsource all of their own work, even just like the work of being, to another. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like the Akash and this other version of you is showing me that you've already had a little bit of experience with that, where somebody has kind of tried to outsource their happiness, their unhappiness, whatever it may be, kind of really directed at you. And this is a tendency for like the distortion of yin, or of the feminine. Like, it will show up in this distorted way, where instead of working on accessing her own deep womb-based magic and
Mm-hmm.
ability to heal, everything gets foisted onto the man, and he becomes responsible for like her happiness and everything. Like, and there's it feels to me, yeah, like, so I am we're banishing this. It's a residue. There's a residue of a hypercritical feminine feeling spirit that tries to, like, I think it was really present in your field for some time. Maybe that's an old relationship, or maybe it was somebody that you were more connected to in a different life or in years prior. But there's like a residue of a hypercritical feminine spirit, and I have just sent it away, and the cosmic mother is going to address this energy so that we can continue. Does that resonate with your experience thus far?
Yeah, it does. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So it feels like you're going to be sought after, is I guess what the spotted tiger is now telling me, and your other self is kind of laughing a little bit. You will be sought after. So as you come into like the fullness of your own practice and offering your skills and medicine to the world, I do think that you will attract women looking for safety, like, just to be quite honest. And there's nothing wrong with that, because you are safe, you are gentle, you are good, you are kind, you are trustworthy. But it's going to be a balancing act of finding not even just like a romantic partner, but just like the people, close friends, people who are going to be in reciprocity and mutual love and care and compassion. So that's kind of what's coming up. There is somebody at school who has been attempting, and this is completely unconscious on this individual's part, as we know most of this stuff is. There have been multiple attempts to like hook into, I'm seeing it like close to where we would think of like the base of the spine. It's a little bit to the left. There's been an attempt, like, I'm just going to kind of apply some quantum light, and we're going to heal that. It's looking like fish hooks. I think somebody is either, there might be two people. It feels like one person may be feeling a little bit envious of you and kind of like wants to be more like you, and another person is not in charge of their own desire very well, and so there's some like taking energy. Akash says, be aware that as you continue to further your electricity and magnetism, so like the fullness and bigness and radiance of your field, there will be much like I deal with on a weekly basis. Like yesterday, some guy messaged me and asked me if I wanted to meet him at a hotel for the weekend. Like some guy I don't know very well. And I'm just seeing that, like, you can get ready to just know that there will be attention that you're not interested in, that doesn't at all honor who and what you actually are. And for some reason, I'm just being shown it looking like actual like fish hooks that would go on a fishing pole. So is there a potential teacher at school that is kind of rough, like energetically rough? I don't know.
I guess a little.
Yeah, that's coming up. Like it's coming up, like looking like you're smooth and shiny, and this individual is a little bit abrasive. I'm seeing like a scrub brush that would be like for like a really tough cleaning job. And you don't need that approach or interaction or touch, and like, you know how to deal with it. But I'm just saying, like, the Akash is showing me this, so if this is something you've picked up on or you've been witnessing other of the students encounter, it very much is something about that individual and not about you or the other people. Potentially, if that's like kind of an issue, the Akash is recommending going ahead and bubbling. You're not like hurting this individual. You are simply applying a loving, cushy, containing light bubble of protection around this abrasive scrub brush, or however it shows up in your own work. They're saying that would be perfectly appropriate to kind of cushion a lot of these behaviors, especially if they're abrasive, abrupt, and controlling. are related to people who feel out of control within themselves. And that's what I'm sensing about this individual. And the Akash wanted to bring that through.
Mm-hmm.
You are still weaving. Your key is now the key not just to Agartha or inner earth, but the key to the kingdom, the cosmos, the multi-cosmos, has now gone from gold to, I guess, platinum. I guess that's probably all that's left for me to vision. I mean, maybe it's going to turn into, it'll probably be pure light one of these days in the shape of a key, but this is indicative of your initiatory level, and not even level, what you have chosen to cultivate in the capacity that you are growing within yourself to show up for purpose and answer the call in however it may show up in any given moment. There is a timeline I'm being shown in which you are able to really like reform, but it doesn't, I'm going to say like assist in reforming some of the entertainment industry in a way that's really beautiful and nurturing and nourishing, and makes this the art, like brings it back to the art that it's supposed to be. And that's some years in the future. That may be like 12-ish years in the future, and most of the timeline spirals the Akash is showing me. But do hold on to that, because I know acting is like really is dear to you. So much is related to your voice. I just keep hearing narrating audiobooks for Audible. Voice like well, honey. You and I don't eat honey though, so it's like I'm seeing maple syrup, like the most soothing substance is infused. Your voice is that substance. Okay, this is interesting. You may have better grasp on the symbology than I do. I saw 3 beautiful, I don't know what to call them except beautiful and radiant, female energy, like snakes, but unlike any snake we have here. And they morphed into 3 radiant, gorgeous women in your Akashic chamber. I think they're the 3 fates, but I'm not even sure if there is such a thing as 3 fates. Is that correct? The 3 fates, like 7.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. So
They've
what
been
are
kind
the
of
there's
on
7?
this journey.
What?
They've kind of been with me on this journey.
Okay, maybe we've talked
Noticing
about
that.
them before, and maybe I forgot.
I don't
But
think
they're
we have.
the 3 fates are like really important. Like this is an important archetype that you're part of, that you're working with. This is guidance, energetic guidance. And again, I mean, how do I say this? Like, I guess it's just, again, like I'm being shown alchemy and the alchemical nature of the soul and soul blending, and your ability to already do that already is to be held as the highest form of sacrament. Not even like sacrament, like you are sacrament. And this is what the 3 fates are telling me. And to receive that and to know that. And they're just saying, one of them, I'm lots of red hair. Like I'm seeing a lot of red hair. I'll offer that. I don't know if that's how you see them.
That is.
Okay. Yeah, lots of red hair. So they're present with you, major archetype you're working with. They're actually functioning as like, okay, I guess we'll just say like helping you keep focus and keep on track and going. Not that a diversion would be bad, because even the diversion is part of the path, but kind of helping you keep like goal oriented and priority focus where it should be in order to co-create and create and call in the most loving and benevolent outcome and timelines for yourself, as well as everybody that you're going to be connected with in life. So yeah, that was interesting. They're pretty amazing. And like, essentially, I'll just say it. They're saying you don't settle for any woman, any physical woman that feels like less than this goddess archetype that they are, this archetype that they are. And like you have to be met by somebody who can initiate into the fullness of both like the dark mother goddess, the way I have, and the solar feminine. So we don't hear as much about the solar feminine, but like my daughter is a solar feminine angel in another realm. And I'm just seeing like very, very important for you. That's like kind of like they have this parameter built around you for understanding like the caliber. And it's not that anybody is less than, but it's what you are here to do on a soul level means that the connections that you make have to be at a similar resonance, at a similar frequency bandwidth, if that makes sense.
That makes sense, yes.
Yeah, because you and your partner, a potential future partner, want to grow and evolve together, but you don't want to have to function as the initiator that's pushing on one end, or on, like women don't want to have to be the one who initiates their man. Well, vice versa is also true. So that's kind of like coming into the frequency bandwidth.